This is a letter from George Stanley Faber called Remarks of a Young Tractarian's Alleged Reasons for His Intended Secession to the Church of Rome. A friend had written Faber in hopes to get his help, and he included a letter from a nephew or something of his who was converting to the Catholic Church, to Rome, and he wanted Faber's help to respond to this nephew of his. November 12th, 1845, and we begin with Mr. Faber replying to his friend. My dear sir, though it is somewhat arduous for me at 72, and only just emerging from an indisposition of 9 months' duration, to enter upon the painful topic of your letter, yet in hopes that, through God's mercy, your nephew may be stayed in his fatal career, I will readily take up my pen to meet his paper. The subjoined, or the following, is a copy of the document which you have transmitted to me as received from him, and I insert it because it must serve as a sort of text to the present communication. Quote, this is the nephew. I have resolved to quit the established church because I believe it to be a schismatical body destitute of the notes of the true church, which all holders of the creeds admit, so far from being one that it is not united with any part of Christendom, nor yet within itself, so far from being holy that, during its existence, it has not produced one saint or, apart from politics, one martyr, so far from being Catholic that it does not extend over the sister kingdoms of Scotland and Ireland, so far from being apostolic that it derives the mission of its bishops at highest from Queen Elizabeth. I have resolved to seek admittance into the Roman Church mainly upon this ground. Believing the gospel, I believe the promises of our Lord to be undoubtedly true. I believe, therefore, that he always has been and is with the Church, leading her into all truth by the Spirit of truth, whereby she always has been and is the pillar and ground of truth. The Church, therefore, is infallible. Now, it seems absurd to maintain that this infallibility resides in divided bodies, mutually anathematizing one another, because the Spirit of truth, through whom the Church is infallible, is the Spirit likewise of unity, who maketh men to be of one mind in a house, and a house divided against itself shall surely fall. But against the Church the gates of hell shall never prevail. The Church, being thus certainly one and absolutely infallible, and having always been so, it follows both that the old unreformed church is the true church, and that all that the true church holds is truth. Now, that the Roman Church is the old and therefore the true church, we know not more surely from history than from the notes of the Church, which she as clearly possesses as every other religious body is evidently without, through which notes she has been and is a city set upon a hill, a candle giving light to all that are in the house. Now this Church declares unhesitatingly that it is essential to the salvation of such as see and recognize her to be united to her communion. This, since I do see and recognize her, it is my resolve to do. Again, a man left without an infallible guide must, being rational, choose his way for himself. Unless, therefore, he follows the true church, he must walk by the light of his private judgment. Now I, if I take the latter alternative, no less than if I take the former, shall go without doubt to Rome, since I judge the doctrines of Rome to be more rational and verisimilar than any other doctrines whatever. Nor can any member of the established church, which rests upon private judgment only, nor yet the whole establishment, if it had any opinions, which it has not, for as many ministers as it has, so many voices has it, have any right in the world to pronounce a man wrong who, in his conscience, believes it necessary for his salvation to join the Church. This is my conviction, and I do not see how any member of the established Church can question my right and my duty to follow it.